But I just wanted to run something by you. The concept of mass deportation, I know it's like, oh my God, don't say that, that's racist and all that. Well, look, President Trump has just doubled down on his vow to mass deport, all illegal migrants. He's rejected proposals of amnesties, even for agricultural workers. Farmers have been saying, well, let us keep the agricultural workers, but no. So he is doubling down, and he is continuing to at least stick to his vow to deport as many illegal migrants from America as possible. And when people say to him, why are you doing this? He said, well, they're not here legally. Their presence is unlawful. A nation that doesn't bother with its own laws is not a serious nation. So why is it that in Britain, as soon as you bring up the concept, people recoil in horror and sort of say, that's the most terribly racist thing that I've ever heard? I mean, I'm not necessarily advocating it or anything. I'm just wondering why we have turned the idea of getting rid of migrants who are here illegally into a taboo subject.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Was that you? Don't do that to us. I thought it was us.
No, it's me this time. I'd like
You should see the panic you just caused, including with me. Sorry, start again, yeah.
I would like to untaboo this subject. It's got nothing to do with race. I mean, if there are lots and lots of white people here who are illegal immigrants, then they should also leave. I don't really think that there should be any kind of, clutching at strings of pearls over the phrase mass deportation. There's questions certainly over the practicalities of it.
Agreed.
And the optics of it and how it would be actually managed. I mean, I certainly, in a civilized country, don't want to see some of the techniques and tactics that are used in, third world countries. I mean, there are countries like Pakistan that fairly recently did a mass deportation program, having very, very almost generously allowed masses of Afghans across the border. And those, in many cases, they never, ever got legitimized. They're working on the black market. And finally, Pakistan said, look, we've had enough of this. And some of their methods were perhaps not ones that would really work in the UK or would be desirable in the UK. But as a principle, should we be kicking out everybody who is not entitled to be here? Well, of course. Why is that controversial? If you're here illegally, you should be kicked out. It's really simple. And since there are masses of people who are here illegally, then masses of people should be deported, in my personal view.
Yeah, and here's the problem, or this is at the root of the problem, the heart of the problem, is it is estimated that it's possible. There are so many migrants apparently in this country that we don't know about, that it's possible that estimations of the population of this country, which were around about 70 million, could be 10 million light. In other words, expert commentators believe there could be 10 million people in this country that we don't know about. And of course, because of our illegal migrant crisis and our legal migrant crisis, this is just getting worse and worse and worse. So I suspect that in the not too distant future, it's going to become an imperative for a government to start getting to grips with this.
And the question is, what does that look like? If you are talking about very, very large numbers of people, what is required to make that happen? I mean, we're not, obviously, we can't put millions of people on planes. It would be an awful spectacle. And it would also be tremendously expensive. So one by one, these people have to be identified and encouraged on their way at their own expense. It should not be a government program of, literally getting in like our aircraft carriers and filling them with people. That's just not, come on, that's ridiculous. But the point is the principle of it. I suppose the phrase is just quite crude, isn't it? And it just
It
sounds
sounds bad, doesn't it? But you're
very aggressive. But it's the idea behind it that we should stop tolerating, simply tolerating,
exactly.
absorbing all these extra people.
That's exactly it. And I think what Donald Trump is doing, at the very least, he's sending a message saying, look, if you're living in our country unlawfully, if you broke into this country illegally, you're an illegal migrant, don't feel complacent. You know, don't feel that you have the right to do this. We're coming after you. So be afraid, be very afraid. I think we should send that message to our potentially 10 million illegal migrants who are living here, so they don't feel that they're home and dry, because at the moment, once they get across the channel, or as we're finding out now, very often they come over on some sort of legal working visa, the visa runs out and they just stay. The message we should be sending to all of these people is don't feel safe, you're not home and dry, and we're at the very least we're going to try and round you up, and we're going to try and get rid of you. We need to, that's what Trump is doing. I mean, in the real world, he can't get every single illegal migrant in America and send them back whence they came, but he's telling all the illegal migrants, I'm on your case. And as I say, that is not evil or racist. That is being a serious country. This is one of the things I worry about Britain. We seem to be paying less and less attention to our own laws. We seem to care less and less about the laws that turned this country into one of the most civilized nations on earth. And we should pay attention to the law that allows you to live here.
Absolutely. And, you know, the first way that you'd send out that message is saying, that's it, folks, we're not tolerating any more cross-channel migration in that way. You know, that's step one, isn't it, of sending out the message that Britain is full. We're not turning a blind eye to this anymore. We're not indulging it. We're not actually enabling it and encouraging it by all the benefits and you know, red carpet welcome that we offer these people. So that's step one. Nothing else is going to work in terms of what any prime minister might say about deportation if it doesn't start with the channel migrants, even if they're a small fraction of the overall problem. And once you've started saying that and you've stopped the flow, you then say anyone who, you then make sure that your computer systems and the resources that you have to back those up, you know, your border force is actually acting on all the overstayers, because that's enormous, you know, and those who are doing things on visas that are not, you know, designed for those visas, who come over as a dependent and doing other things and so on.
Indeed. Now, let me put that out to the audience. Should we start embracing the concept of mass deportation? As Isabel said, there must be a nicer word for this, but we may have 10 million people living here who shouldn't be. Surely we should do something about them, don't you think?